Okay, I am very thrilled to welcome in Bettina Marks, who directed, produced a short film, which I had the pleasure of viewing in Malvern, called The Scream. It was excellent. I got a thrill that my buddy Rocco Possum had a small role in the film.
Yeah.
It was really, really powerful,
Yes.
with a very, very strong message. And it's my privilege and honor to welcome in the director, the producer of The Scream. She is Bettina Marks.
Thank you. Hi, thank you, Howie. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Let's start from the beginning. What made you feel that directing movies was something you really wanted to do more than anything?
Well, it goes back a while, a ways. This is not my first film, and I started as a student. I went to art school. I went to Rhode Island School of Design. I studied film, and I was lucky enough to start a short there, or a couple of projects in class, and finished them actually when I went to school after that at the University of California, San Diego, and kept my goals and focus, and it's all about communication. It's getting stories out there. I'm a storyteller, and I really have a background in visual storytelling, so combining the two, visual plus writing stories, that's what film is. It has all of the arts encompassed in one medium. It's theater, it's visual art, it's acting, it's story and script, and photography. So it's got everything in it, and it suits me.
Yes. You had some early accolades in your career, like when you were in your 20s. Talk about a little bit about that, your early brush with that.
Yeah, I went to the Berlin International Film Festival with my first two shorts that I completed after I finished school, and a little bit after that, a few years. And that was very thrilling to get to Berlin, standing on the stage with very intimate portraits that were personal films at a time when it was really tough for women also.
Yes.
To get out there with film projects or anything. So I don't want to date myself, but it was, they were very well received, and I also then had applied to the American Film Institute, and they gave out two films a year for dramatic content. I was waitlisted. There's the story of a lot of film and entertainment industry. It's tough sometimes. You get near misses, hits, and then things, you're waiting, and then they want, in that case, I was very close to getting the $50,000 grant to make a dramatic film, only they wanted to see footage, and I didn't have a lot of money to make, to shoot film. So I couldn't really supply what I had already been in the process of, of doing, so it was a little tough there. But it's all been very supportive, because my first two shorts were very well received. From critics from the Village Voice and Karen Cooper, who was at the Film Forum. So people that were in the know, and they were written up in Variety. So it was a first accolade, which was, like you say,
Yes.
It was some time ago, and to keep that momentum, though, it's a very expensive
Yes.
industry without support.
You've dabbled in other areas too. Like, you really have shown yourself to be a talent in many different, just kind of briefly touch on some of the other accomplishments you made. You've made strides into journalism, you made strides into designs. Like, you could just briefly touch on the fact that you have this kind of arsenal of talent.
Oh, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah, I think that I think film, like I said again, kind of encompasses all of the arts and all facets, which suits me, because even when I put together my website, I sort of threaded it together with storytelling, so that it's all different mediums, but the bottom line is I'm still telling a story, whatever it is. Whether originally I, having a background in the visual arts, went into design so that I could make a living at that point, and also it had some personal reasons, not to compete with my ex-husband when we were working together, and so it's, you know, that plus studying theater, you know, and being a painter. They're all linked. It's all linked.
Absolutely, and I just want to cut in here, and I have a cute little interjection to make in this segment.
Sure.
Rocco, can I ask you to take your shoes off, please, and put them on the table?
Sure.
You know, people say, why would halftime Howie ask Rocco Possum to take his shoes off and put them on the table? But there's a method to my madness, and let's expand on that.
These are designed by Bettina right here. I'm a loyal customer of hers. I love her stuff. She has a really innate sense of design, and everybody that I show these to, they love them, and I can't even begin to tell you how much I really enjoy sneakers. Like I never had a real appreciation for sneakers or for other form of garments. Like I really feel like she has like real passion to what she does, and I really feel like she just has like a really nice sense of like great stylistic aesthetic that is just fun, you know, like whether you're a man or a woman. I really do feel like she's just fantastic.
I'm gonna blush. Well, I have a background. You know, I went to the best art school in the country. I had an office in Manhattan for years, providing designs for the international fashion market from, you know, the 7th Avenue to internationally. I sold my designs in Japan, licensed my trademark and signature, hoping to do something like that again. There are things percolating in that arena right now. At the advent of the internet in 2000, when all the computers started up, one of the problems that I found myself up against was that there's such pilferage. People are just able so easily to copy your designs and trademarking them and registering them. There's ways and loopholes to get away with it. So I saw the open door for being able to directly hit the consumer, not just the B2B, but to hit the consumer and business with an online. Right. Before even Land's End started to do a virtual model, and before Alibaba was up there, kind of, you know, the internet, people in that, there was the .com fallout in 2000, and people were afraid that nobody would buy anything online, which we know it's a $1 billion industry. Amazon is the behemoth now, and it's taking over everything, you know, it's hard to compete with Amazon actually. But thank you for the compliments.
Yes.
Yeah, my designs have sold, been very successful over the years. My artwork is sold, my artwork and paintings. I like to pride myself that Alfred Hitchcock was also a painter. Yeah. Roman Polanski painting is, you know, is a storytelling means, but again, and you know, there, yeah. I don't know what else you want to say about
It's all good. Getting back to the short film, tell us a bit about what inspired the Scream and what message you wanted to convey with that.
Well, it's basically, it's about the bystander effect, and I was inspired, well, Kitty Geneviese's story, which is classic, and it's, you know, it was the precursor to getting 911 instated. And if, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you know, because every school, you know, everybody in school and high school, I believe in psychology, sociology classes are required to take it, to study about this bystander effect, and her name is, you know, is synonymous with it. You know, it's you know, in numbers we shrink. There's so many ways to discuss it. When people, especially now, it's worse than ever. So I kind of wanted to focus on it with social media and teens and everybody. It's not just young people that are in a position now. Everybody can use their phone, and everybody can focus on an event. And what's happened a lot is that people do not. They start to would rather take photos of a situation rather than, or videos, and send them in rather than actually call the authorities. And it's more than that, because they're also afraid that if they do intervene, like, you know, in a vigilante kind of position, that they could themselves get hurt. So after the Stanford University rape case, that luckily ended in a positive manner, where some, you know, and they were foreigners actually, the two guys that stepped in to help this woman who was being attacked. There's every day when I mention the story of what my film is about, and it's fictionalized, it's not a documentary, I get another person responding to it saying to me, well, I just had another situation. They tell me another episode, situation that occurred or incident. And actually, when Howie had gone to see the film, he brought up the Oceanside horror about the children, the teens that were witness to their classmate being stabbed to death, and then they were shooting the videos. And especially the way media has changed now, because there's so many stringers, which they used to be calling them from, in the old press, where you could, send in something just by being a freelance photographer or video maker. And then, now anybody with a camera, just like journalism, anybody with a story or a blog can have exposure on the internet. So it's more widespread than actually taking action. And then, there's also a monetary situation attached to it. They can send it in and try to get paid for it. So it's really a very serious situation, and widespread and so prevalent. So I actually went back to this. I had written this script years ago as a student, actually, and then I updated to make it work in terms of the timing for now, and putting it in today's world. But I was just about to start my feature, and some financing fell through. So I was eager to get my hands and gritty into get on, in the trenches again and get something done. And it has not been easy. Yes. It has been very tough, because there's just been, with new technology and no financing, this film was made on like a shoestring budget. I'm talking guerrilla filmmaking, but there's always something like that with any film. Yes. Even the larger amount, a huge budget can have a cancellation at the last minute, and the actor drops out, and they have to scoop it all up and start again, and reconnect all the pieces on large budgets. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm meandering. If I lost the points, bring me back.
No, you're totally good, as far as I'm concerned. The Scream, it's in the can.
Thank God. Yeah.
Perfectly complete.
Go ahead.
Where do you see yourself going with the short, and where do you see yourself going with what you want to do? Because I know film is your first love. So where do you want to go with your career now?
Well, as it is now, the film can be standalone as a short, but it's really a pilot. I see it now because of the opportunities in TV, and TV is really taking on the movie theater. That's the state of the industry. It's all on TV. There are many, many outlets, and because of streaming. So I see this as an anthology TV series where each time it's about, in general, the bystander effect, urban apathy, but in each case, like, I would bring in new characters or a new incident, and so that it would be able to hold on, stand alone. Almost, I only say investigations, discovery, just to give it a reference point, because each time in those episodes there's a new group of characters, unlike SVU or something like that, where you have the main principal characters.
Yes. Well, tell us finally where people can get information in regards to your designs.
Oh, okay. BettinaMarks.inc.com. BettinaMarksinc.com. That's my online store.
Yes.
You can find more biographical information about me by going to BettinaMarks.com. And then I have an in-process production company site called Cinemarks.net. And if you Google, you'll find a bunch of
your past work.
My past work, and also the diverse, mediums that I've worked in.
Yes. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We think you you have a great vision, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Rocco. Thank you for all your help on the production.
Thank you.
And thank you, Howie.
My pleasure. Great job, Bettina Marks, Rocco Possum, The Screen.